I am so excited to show you some sneak peek to behind the scenes of the kinds of really amazing things that happen here at Hype Media with my team, with myself, within my own business, the things that we build out for our own done for you clients. This is also what I teach inside of our Ignite Your Influence programs. And I am going to share with you the exact workflow that we use, like client after client on rinse and repeat. Doesn't matter what it is that you sell, what type of industry you're in. The framework looks the same. However, it's not cookie cutter because everyone's message, offer, services, personality is all different too. I want to give you the workflow of what it looks like to build out an entire content conversion marketing ecosystem. And so this is the kind of workflow that has been responsible. I'll tell you, for me personally, a $90,000 week. It's not uncommon, right? Don't forget, I do sell high ticket agency retainer services. That was not all one client in that one week, but a couple of clients at once. But it's also responsible for clients selling out their masterclasses, their workshop, both free and paid, having a $45,000 sale from one person raising their hand on a live video, and then that person moving into the workflow that I'm going to share with you today. What I'm going to share with you is literally, when I talk about literally responsible for those types of results, that's what it is. And here's what I want you to know. Is this easy? If it's your first time doing this, I'm not going to lie, this is not easy. However, it is simple. Okay. So I don't want you to overcomplicate this. The reason why for some it's not easy is because there are components to this that are not yet easy for some people. For example, showing up on video. Okay. That is part of this. And so if you want this to work, there are some things that you have to remove from your aura, from your space. Okay. And I can help you remove them. That is part of what we do. It's part of honestly what I'm passionate about. And one of those is removing the fear of rejection, because you will need to show up on video in order to make this work, and not just any kind of video. I'm not talking about dancing on video. I'm not talking about trendy, dancing moves or transitions. All right. Those are super fun, but that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a deep connection with your audience that is doing something similar to what I'm doing right now. Okay. It takes practice. That's what I want you to know. And sometimes I don't really like to use the fake it till you make it quote, but when it comes to video, sometimes you have to fake it. Okay. Sometimes you have to fake being nervous. I'm going to give you a perfect example. So when I first started showing up on video, I've done over about 1,500 or more videos in my lifetime, live videos. Okay. Recorded, actually probably more live videos than recorded, which is kind of funny. So the recorded videos that you see out there are actually from my live videos, which we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I used to heavily sweat under my arms. Okay. Did anyone notice? No, but when I was done with that video, when I would, tap the end live button, there were sweat marks. Okay. So it takes some practice, I promise, but that is not the only part about this entire workflow. And this is something that, it's taken some trial and error, has been refined over the last, I would say 10 years. Hype Media, we've been around since 2009. But really, when I personally started to really dive in to live video is when we started to refine this workflow. And now it's something that it's like our anchor marketing strategy. Do we do other marketing strategies? Absolutely. But this is if somebody said to me, Gina, if there's one thing that you would stick to in your business when you are leveraging the online space, what would it be? And number one, live video. And I hope that you can see why. Okay. And you know what? And if it's recorded, fine. At least video. Okay. So let's first jump into why is this important? Well, first of all, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a workflow. You need to know what the roadmap is, right? Doesn't matter if it's something that you create on your own and you document as an SOP. Doesn't matter if you learn it from someone else. And most people, they think they're doing the work online when it comes to marketing because they are posting daily. They are following trends. They are creating these beautiful graphics. Believe me, I get it. Sometimes I have them too. And I used to only pay attention to pretty graphics. at least for my own marketing. And I thought that that was like how they had to look. Furthest from the truth. Okay. But here's the other truth. None of that guarantees you sales. Okay. So what I'm about to share with you is the same workflow that we've used. Like I said, we had a client bring in 24,000 in one day, another client land a $45,000 sale from one conversation because they followed this workflow. Myself, I've had $90,000 weeks. We have been able to fill masterclasses, workshops. Clients have been able to do it as well. And I'm talking about organic. This is without paid traffic. However, I know that for many entrepreneurs, that's just not feasible, right? Not in certain stages of your business at the very beginning. So this is going to work whether you are a professional service provider, whether you sell physical products, it does not matter. Okay. You could sell this pen. This is going to work. All right. So we're going to start with over to the left. Okay. And this moves over to the right, going from left to right. Starting with the first part. Okay. This is a one-time thing that you will do. And this is so, so important. So if you have a VA or you have a social media manager or you have somebody that is freelancing that you've hired that freelances their work and they do your social media, you need to make sure that this one-time thing is actually happening in your business. Okay. That's the foundation that you want to set. So it starts with creating a brand creative brief. Okay. This is like the Bible for your business. It's going to give either your VA or yourself a document that has everything about your business, including, and not just about your business, but about you as a human being, your personality, your tone of voice, your messaging, your clients, their symptoms, meaning pain points, problems, right? Their desires, your services, your offers, all of it. Most people that I talk to, they don't have this. They do not have this documented, or maybe they have like pieces here and there. This is all to be done in one document. So we actually have a training that we start with our mastermind clients that they go through to actually create their own brand creative brief. So we have a whole SOP for this. But basically, just to give you kind of a quick outline of what should be included in there is just that, everything that I just shared with you. Okay. Again, that's going to be everything about you, like as a human being, your personality traits, your messaging, your offers, desires, clients, all of that stuff. Okay. So that's super important. That's the first part to this. Okay. That is also going to include, like I said, your dream client profiles, your offers, the results, the benefits, the results, all of that, the transformations that you bring to the table, and then any current initiatives that you have. That's really, really important, right? So are you focused on filling a masterclass? Are you focused on doing discovery calls or sales calls? Are you focused on launching a membership and bringing new members in? Whatever it is. Are you focused on selling this pen? Okay. You got to know all of that and it's got to be documented. Okay. That's step one. So here's what I want you to know. First of all, if you use one of our favorite tools, ChatGPT, this can help you. However, before you actually use it, you need to already have like outlined some of this information. Okay. So here's what you want to include. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're a business consultant. Okay. You're going to want to type into ChatGPT. I'm a straight talker. I'm a results driven business consultant. I help 7-figure business owners streamline their operations and scale without burning out their teams. My tone is confident, strategic, approachable. My clients know that I'll call out the gaps while giving them a clear step-by-step fix. My dream clients are CEOs, service-based businesses doing 1 million to 5 million in revenue who feel stuck and in plateau mode. You see how like detailed I'm speaking, right? Their pain points are they are constant bottlenecks. They have lack of visibility. They have no systems. They have a team, but their teams are not efficient enough, not just yet. They desire more money, more profits, smoother operations, and the freedom to step out of the day by day, right? So that would be like the dream client info that you add to it. Then you talk about your offers. Maybe it's you sell a 90-day consulting package. Okay. And then what is the transformation? I don't just process map for them. I actually show them how to run a predictable business with less stress, higher margins, leadership team, and then include your current initiatives. So maybe you have over the next 30 days, you want to focus on a masterclass that you want to bring people in, right? So like that detailed, you want to type that in to ChatGPT and then ask it to write a brand creative brief for you. I mean, I just kind of gave you the whole process of how to do that. Okay. So that's part one to this. The second part to this is you need to block out in your calendar at least 15 minutes a day for for intentional social media activity. This does not mean scrolling through all day long or for an hour or getting stuck in TikTok reels or Instagram reels or, commenting on all of your friends and family's posts. This means hyper-focused 15 minutes intentional activity where you are choosing, and here's how to make it easy. You're choosing 5 to 10 people that you want to have seen more of your business content that you feel could be either a potential client, a power partner, meaning somebody that you could partner with, collaborate with, or a referral partner. Okay. Mix it up. So maybe it's like 2 of each and 1 of one. All right. But Monday through Friday, I take the weekends off, but that's because Monday through Friday, I am hyper focused and my time spent on social media is very intentional. And then I am out doing my other CEO tasks. There's a reason why you want to do this every day. I'm going to show you exactly why once we get into the weekly things. Okay. Now, this 15 minutes is actually part of a power hour that I teach and that I do called your Ignite Your Business Power Hour, where we break up that hour into 15-minute increments. And this is one of the 15-minute increments. The other 15-minute increments, I'm not going to go into right now, but for whatever reason, that 1 hour, the 1 hour is a necessity, but even these 15 minutes, if you feel like nobody is seeing your content, nobody's engaging, or maybe it's just your family and friends engaging, this will completely change it. Like I can pretty much guarantee instantly. Okay. Next thing. Now, this is where we're going to get more tactical. We just got tactical with the intentional activity, but this is where your content comes into play. Okay. The next thing is that we want to work backwards from your offer. So let's say, for example, I'm going to give you actually my example. So we have our workshop coming up, right? So over the last 4 weeks or so, maybe even 6 weeks, I have purposely been going live every single week. I'm like reverse engineering, right? I'm leading people up to our workshop. And so my content topics, my video topics over the last 4 to 6 weeks have been about things that have to do with live video and how to convert or create conversions, leads, prospects, and clients from your live videos, right? So on a weekly basis, you need to have a topic that you can stick to for that entire week that can somehow weave into whatever initiative you have coming up that you're trying to fulfill. Okay. So we want to work with as many of you inside of this workshop. So my purpose over the last 4 to 6 weeks is to talk more about live video and the importance of it and why it is the fastest way to build online authority and engagement. And we're going to talk about content repurposing, fastest way to work smarter and not harder on social media. So naturally, that's what I'm going to be talking about over the course of these several weeks leading into our workshop. So I want you to start thinking about what do you have coming up in the next 4 weeks, maybe 2 months. And if you're like, you know what, I don't have anything specific, like I don't have a conversion event, I don't have anything specific, fine. You still need clients, right? So maybe it's you want more sales calls. Maybe it's you want to do more free discovery calls or assessments or audits or whatever it is that you call, right? As you're thinking of those offers or those things that you want to lead people to, you then want to list out what are the symptoms or the problems that my ideal clients are having right now that my offer can solve for them, even if it's free. Okay. It could be a lead magnet and you're just looking to grow your email list over the next several weeks. You want to list those out. And then based off of those, you want to brainstorm 4 content topics. So you're going to have 1 per week. And this is going to allow you to now plan and organize your month. Okay. All right. You've got your topics, right? So what you do with each of those topics is you are going to go live once a week with one of those topics. Okay. Now, inside of our workshop, we are actually going to give you a super amazing, magical video GPT prompt that literally writes these scripts in seconds. Okay. Once a week, try to go live the same day of the week at the same time. And it's just going to be about 10 to 15 minutes long. But that's where this really all kicks off, is with that one live weekly video. Now, to get people to the video on a weekly basis, you've got to pre-promote your video. So once you've got your video topic and you've got your outline or script, you know what you're going to say, right? That's the organization part. And you do this, I would sit down literally in 30 minutes and do it for all 4 topics. So now I have my 4 topics built out with my hooks, my headlines, my scripts, my call to actions for the next 4 weeks. But now we got to pre-promote, because there's no sense in going live if nobody's going to know about your video. Now, I will tell you that most people are going to watch on the replay, and that is totally okay. All right. So the way that this looks is we typically suggest 3 social media posts and 3 emails. Now you're probably like, oh my gosh, I have to write 3 posts and 3 emails. How am I going to come up with all that content? Okay. So I have 2 ways for you to do this. Okay. Number 1 is when you grab my video prompt, it's going to basically write those out for you. But what you do is you start with your video description for that live video. And from that video description, you write what I call is going to be your first post. Okay. Your first post of the week as a pre-promotion post is what I call an activation post. Some people call this a hand raiser post. A 2-step post is another one that I've heard. So if you'll notice inside of this group, I will post something like, if you want to see the exact workflow that's responsible for creating $24,000 sales in one day or, $90,000 sales in a week, let me know down below so you can get access. That is an activation post. It is activating your audience to be curious about what it is that you're going to be sharing. And so everybody that comments on that post, you're going to respond to their comment. You're going to say, something like, thank you so much. I'll send you a DM with how you can access that. Then you're going to send them a DM and you're going to let them know, hey, I'm sharing access to this training, or this live training is going to happen on such and such date. And here's where it's going to happen. Thanks so much for your comment on my post about blank. All right. Remind them like why you're DMing them, because some people, they comment on tons of stuff and they totally forget. I do it all the time. All right. So that's the first post of the week. The second post of the week is going to be more story driven. Okay. So you're going to want to do a little bit of storytelling in your post. And at the end of that caption, you're going to say something like, to dive deeper into this, or if this sounds like you, or if you feel like you want to know more or to know more, say the word video down below and I'll share access with how you can get into that training. Okay. That's post number 2 before you go live. And then the morning that you go live, you want to do a simple reminder post. Okay. Now, if you start with using your video description, you already kind of have the context of how you're going to write these posts, right? So in my video description, I'm going to share, like for today's video, I shared about the workflow, right? And I shared how this workflow is responsible for creating $24,000 in sales on one day, or $90,000 in 1 week, or filling someone's masterclass. I use that same verbiage in my activation post. I used an expanded version of that in my storytelling post, and I used another version of that in my reminder post this morning. Okay. That's one piece to it, but not everyone you're going to catch on social media. So you want to send them reminders through email. Okay. Hopefully you are working on building an email list. And if you're not, we need to talk. Here's why this is so important, because you do not own these platforms. So if you are just depending on people seeing your content on social media, number 1, I don't know if you knew, but only like 1 to 3% of your audience sees your content at any given time. That's very small. Okay. Unless you do that engagement activity, like religiously, 15 minutes a day. That's all it takes. But number 2, like I said, you don't own these platforms. So like something shuts down, what are you going to do? You have no contacts, right? So you want to make sure that you are building an email list. But my point is that you want to send out reminders to your email list. So on Monday, really what I do is I rewrite my social media posts into an email. That's it. And guess what? If you ask ChatGPT to do that for you, it will do it. Make sure that your chat is trained though on your personality, your voice, and all that. And if you are having ChatGPT create your brand creative brief, use that same chat because it'll already know all those things about you. All right. And I'm moving really fast on this, but again, these are just some foundations when I talk about brand creative brief and seasoning your ChatGPT, all that kind of stuff that we work on together. But my point is that you can use your pre-promotional social media posts and rewrite them into emails. So you're not recreating or you're not creating content from scratch. You are repurposing it in different ways. Okay. All right. So then you go live, right? On whatever day that is. And then we need to post, promote, and follow up, because what is the point of having people watch your live video, comment like you guys are commenting right now, and then me not follow up with you or reach out to you in DMs? No point. All right. And this is honestly where the magic happens, just so you know. This is where most people lack in doing this. They don't do this at all. Or if they do it, they half-ass it and they don't have a system to keep following up. Okay. But I promise you, if you follow this workflow and you put this on rinse and repeat weekly, you will change the look of your revenue and how many clients you are serving. Okay. So post promotion and follow up is huge in this. So what do? For the post promotion part is we do send out a replay email to our entire list, and we link this video, for example, to that email. So tomorrow, or sometimes it happens on Saturdays, honestly, sometimes it happens on Mondays too. I'll send a replay email and I will link today's video to it. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is we will also post tomorrow a replay post. So if you missed today's video, I want you to still have an opportunity to watch it. Okay. So I'm going to post about that tomorrow. And we get tons of people that will watch on the replay. And what we do is we will tag them in the live for today, but we'll also send them a personal message with the link directly to it, because some people don't see their notifications and they won't see that they got tagged on the live, and then they miss the live. And then we start to take down live videos and then they're never going to see it. Right. So we want to give you as many chances as you can to watch it before we take it down. All right. Okay. When you go into the DMs, for everyone that viewed your video or that, dropped a keyword that you gave for a call to action, you want to send them a DM and just follow up and say, hey, Susie, I saw that you were watching my video on Thursday. Did you have any questions on anything that I shared? I'm happy to answer them. Right. Or what was your biggest takeaway? That's always a good one. Or was there anything that I needed to explain a little bit better to help you? I want to gain as much data as possible. So this is going to not only help me understand, okay, did my content help you? Did it support you? And or is there additional support that you need help with? Right? So really, really important. And then you want to put those people that you are following up with on a rotation. So what I'm talking about is a regular check-in. All right. Every few days. And then they go into a rotation of every 10 days or so. There is no reason for people to be in your space, in your container, and for you to be, serving them and then to ghost them. Right. And one thing that I will share that I love doing, I've heard people, they don't like to receive these. And if you don't, then you can block me if you want, but I love to send voice notes. It takes me an extra 30 seconds to send a voice note. It's not that hard. It doesn't take a lot out of my day, but I will tell you that voice notes are so personable, and it allows me to really share with you that I'm being genuine and that I really want to support you, whether you become a client or not. It doesn't matter. And that I'm here as a resource. Okay. And that is how you build your online authority. Okay. So I'm going to give you a bonus to this because it really doesn't end there. When I was talking about, how we've had clients bring in 24,000 in one day or a 90,000 in 1 week, which actually happened to me specifically. And I've done this multiple times, but I will tell you the magic happens with that live video and the follow-up. Okay. So I'm going to give you my own personal example. The 90K in 1 week happened it was early this year in January. And I went live and 2 people that week saw this one live video that I did. So one of the people that saw it actually became a client, an agency retainer client. The other person that saw it is a former client who actually was working with a company that was looking for a marketing agency to basically take over their clients when their clients needed marketing help. So we became the marketing agency of record for this company. It was a referral. So live video is not only going to get you seen and found by potential clients, but by potential referral partners. Huge. Okay. That's number one. So that's part of the magic. The second part of the magic is that follow-up. So the 24,000 in sales that a client had, she sold 2 clients that week, was from a live video that she followed up in the DMs and got on a call with them. Okay. She sells high ticket. The $45,000 sale from one lead that came from a client's live video. This person saw her live video. Something she said in her live video resonated with them so hard that they didn't engage on the video. They didn't comment. They didn't react to it. They sent her a DM right away and asked her about the call to action that she had dropped in her video. You have to realize too, if you sell high ticket, a lot of your high ticket clients, they are not the ones that will actually engage on your content, but they are watching. And so she had started the conversation in DMs, and then she offered them to get on a call. And on the call, they literally said yes to her $45,000 program and gave her their credit card on the spot. I've got tons of other examples, but the same thing can happen with physical products. All right. You create that curiosity, you spark the conversation, and then it snowballs from there. Okay. So the next part to this, so this is a little bonus that I wanted to share with you. So this is what I call our premium content multiplier ecosystem. Okay. When you do that live video, it doesn't just end there with that piece of content. Aside from the post promotion and the follow up that you want to do, you don't let that piece of content go to waste at all. Please do not. Okay. Here's what you want to do. You want to use that one video and you want to create a repurposing system with it. So why? Because that one video can adapt to a lot of different formats. Okay. With that video, you can edit some things out of it. Like, for example, this live video is going to go over to YouTube. Is it going to be downloaded and then uploaded right into YouTube? No. YouTube has a whole other strategy, right? So we're going to cut out the parts where I'm talking to you guys, right? Where we have this like back and forth banter. We're going to cut out the parts that are not more like evergreen. Okay. Very simple editing though. Nothing crazy. We have been getting a little bit more advanced, but my focus hasn't been over on YouTube for a really long time until recently is where we're really trying to now build a strategy out there. But that is one way that we're going to use this video. The other way we're going to use this video is we're going to take clips of it. So when I gave you the different parts of the workflow, for example, we're going to take each one of those workflow parts and we're going to create a reel out of each of those parts. So now I have reels out of this one video. Okay. Then we are going to share in various other types of formats the same content that is coming out of my mouth. Okay. So I'll give you some ideas. We are going to transcribe this video and we are going to rewrite it into a LinkedIn article and a blog post for my website. LinkedIn article for my LinkedIn newsletter, blog for my website. Okay. That's one way. We are going to take some of that text and we are going to create a carousel post out of it for Instagram, which we also post over on LinkedIn. And honestly, I still post it on Facebook, even though it doesn't look like a carousel. And I'm going to show you inside of our Visibility to Profits workshop and not only show you how to do this like in real time, but I'm also going to give you the prompts so that ChatGPT can help you do this in real time. Okay. We are also going to take parts of this video and create email campaigns out of it or one email out of it. So in addition to that replay email, I'm going to use this as an educational email to send out to my list, obviously in a very condensed version of it. All right. So those are just some of the ways. And by the way, each one of those ways is multiple ways. So like multiple reels, multiple emails, multiple carousel posts, even short text messages. All right. Now, here's what this does. This creates not only distribution across all these platforms, because I will tell you that if you are just like having a touch point with your audience just on Facebook, for example, but you're not also having a touch point on your email, which is a platform, not a social media platform, but it is another platform, you are missing out. Or if you're only talking to people in email, but you're not talking to them on social media, you are missing out. Not everyone's going to see everything in all of the places, right? So the more opportunities that you give people to see your content, the higher your conversion rates. Not only that, but the more frequency, the more times they're hearing that message over and over again, the more they're going to remember you when they are like, oh my gosh, I need help with blank. Oh, I know the first person to call, Sarah, or to reach out to. So you want that frequency and you want to be on multiple platforms in that regard. And I'm not necessarily talking about like multiple social media platforms, although I do believe now being omnipresent is really important. But before you start to like go crazy and feel overwhelmed being on multiple platforms, make sure that you're getting one or two down right, like you're mastering them. And that's really the kind of work that we do together inside of our programs is we help you master not only your own marketing, but master these platforms and social media, email, all of them combined. All right. But that's really important. So you have more distribution channels. And then the last thing is you have a feedback loop, right? So every time you repurpose your content, you watch what lands because you can watch comments, you can watch shares, you can watch questions, you can watch how many times people click on something, if they're, clicking in your email, if they're opening up your email, if they're unsubscribing, whatever it is. There's so many different KPIs that you can analyze and then really start to understand what content is hitting my audience and what content do I just need to get rid of and not even talk about anymore. Or maybe I need to tweak how I'm talking about it because it's not landing. Okay. The best part about this whole repurposing piece is that that it's not about creating more content, because you're not creating more content. It's about creating strategic content one time with that video, that live video, which I call a power value-based video, and then multiplying it into every format that your audience is consuming. Video, carousel posts, text posts, emails, text messages, articles, blogs, reels. Make sense? Okay. So if you're done winging it and you want to build this rinse and repeat system, get into the workshop, because that's what we're going to do together. All right. The idea is to get in and out of social media, but to do it very intentionally, purposefully, so that every time you're in and out, there is activity happening and momentum building, and it's getting you closer to a sale. Okay. What would it feel like for you if every single day in your business, you made at least one sale? That is the kind of work that happens when you build out a workflow like this. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.